Ah, China, Illinois. When people ask for my favorite show, I want to say that show, but it's a guilty pleasure.
Just jack this mountain off.
Okay, yes. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the type of show we're getting into, and I fucking love it. That's why I love the show, man. Especially keeping at the back of your mind that one of the tamest things that happen in the show is Steve giving out his sexual history throughout the whole episode. That's the least craziest thing that happens. It's 100% beef, and let's dissect this episode like a frog. There's a lot of one-liners that I really respect.
And for some stupid reason, you can't play D&D without a girl.
Pony, just play with him or something.
I'm not jerking in that nerd circle. I've got to read a book from a book club anyway.
Which actually, she does end up being a jerk in that jerk circle. So, Pony decides to play Dungeons and Dragons with the others despite her making fun of baby cakes. And, you know you want to play Dungeons and Dragons. And she makes fun of baby cakes and the other people for it. But ends up she really got into it and started outsmarting everyone. It's ironic she's making fun of them for being nerds but was part of a book club. Like, that got me a chuckle. You can have any hobby that you want, but it's a bit hypocritical. And it speaks on how people bash someone for having a hobby that they think is nerdy but the other person doesn't, and vice versa. Since Billy was doing so well, Baby Cakes actually stooped so low that he ended up dragging someone out of the damn hospital to try to replace Pony's spot on the game. Shit like this, it's like, it goes so far, so dramatic, like, it's so out there, you just gotta laugh at it, man. Baby Cakes takes Dungeons and Dragons really seriously, like I do YouTube, only I want to drag someone out of the damn hospital. Like, what the fuck? Like, I relate because I take shit really seriously with YouTube, but at the same time, I wouldn't go to drastic measures like that, so I'm able to laugh at it and in return laugh at myself. Pony loves rubbing it into Baby Cake's face that she's better and how upset it is making baby cakes. He just ends up just kidnapping an ill patient from the hospital, you know. Desperate times for desperate measures. Oh man, you do what you gotta do the way, dude. No, don't do that. Don't think I'm actually being serious.
-7. Cross them out.
Eventually, this happens. And it's epic. Eventually, Pony admits she loves Dungeons and Dragons.
My real life was fake, and your fake life gave me something real. Are you really gonna take that away?
Yep.
Kiss me every time, and she lost. That's some karma, actually. Meanwhile, Frank wants to show how much a man he is because his class keeps clowning him when the professor becomes the class clown. Frank actually then sets up a whole motherfucking press conference in his classroom. And I'm a very anxious person, and I relate to Frank because he's really, insecure about himself, and you go to many lengths to prove that whatever they're saying are wrong. You know, it just helps you laugh at yourself. He takes the clowning so seriously, like. You know, a lot of people would have just brushed it off and tried to forget about it, but not Frank. But Frank demands the paparazzi to take photos as he enters, like he's someone important.
Hey, assholes! I'm the guy, okay? So take photos as I enter.
Cut the crap.
That's fueling his ego there. I wonder how much he had to pay to get all the cameramen. Like, this was the next day. He arranged all of this in one day. Like, that's how obsessed he was. Uh, I think it was the next day, but this of course attract the news to report on this bullshit, or if he actually got the news as well. But eventually, with what like the news has to be there, especially with what happens next. Frank actually challenges Muhammad Ali. Frank is so stupid to challenge someone with Parkinson's disease to a wrestling match, and thinking that it's gonna make him look manlier. Just makes him look like a dick. He claims he didn't do the research, but at the time Ali had the disease, says 1984. It's one Google search away. I think he did it on purpose so he would win, but either way, he's either a dick or an idiot, or both. So, respect to Muhammad Ali. He actually recently passed. They made this before before he actually passed away. It's just really awkward. Muhammad Ali actually accepts the challenge. Franks ends up shitting bricks about it because he didn't think he would actually respond, let alone accept the challenge. So he takes so much steroids that he looks like this. And these guys ending up not even reaching each other in the ring. How does that how does that work with collagen? I don't know, but
It looks like it's gonna be a draw.
he ends up shedding his skin after a draw. Like interesting. Oh, and Steve talking about his sexual history was actually on a date
I can't wait to tell people about this.
for days. Days straight, he talked about other women and who he slept with. That's gonna that's gonna make her just walk out. He's just trying to show his experience. It's like an interview. You come in and you're like, all right, this is who I slept with. That's who I slept with. No, that's not how it works. I love this show. So giving this a rating is hard. You see, some people might find that Muhammad Ali being dead, and even if they wasn't dead, making fun of him. Honestly, it wasn't really making fun of him. It was making fun of Frank for being such an idiot and pumping himself with all those steroids, and challenging someone that has Parkinson's disease and end up tying with him. I mean, isn't that hilarious that he tied with someone that has Parkinson's disease? So, I truly didn't get offended by this, but I can see if someone does, but that's kind of how I see it. Of course, rest in peace of Muhammad Ali. That back of my mind might it ruined the score a little bit for me, and I didn't want to be insensitive to the family. I give my condolences. Death is hard. I recently had a death in the family like 3 years ago, actually around the same time Muhammad Ali died. So as a whole, that could affect the enjoyment of this otherwise amazing episode for people. This 9 out of 10. I actually reviewed another China Illinois episode a while back, but if you want to check it out, it should pop out on the screen here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you when you watch me again, metaphorically. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite episodes. This, man, it was so funny.